Alright, hello Exiles. This is going to be my first recording. I've got a couple characters this league. This one I started on Charged Dash and got the gear for it, started the passive tree, mostly just all int stuff. I've played Charged Dash the last couple leagues, so I'm thinking I want to switch it. Just looked up a bunch of stuff for how a Flicker Strike build, so I think I'm going to try it out. But I might need to get a few levels because I'm only 70 on this guy. So for now, I'll probably stick on Charged Dash to level for a bit more. I need to get a 6 link at some point, which I have the currency to do, just I need to get some levels rather than spending all my time in trade, so I'm just gonna jump into that. So here we go. I tried to do tier 6 maps on this guy, but that's a little rough. Since I'm only level 70, I'm sure some builds could do it, but I'm only on the 4 link and was struggling with it a bit. I'm trying to tier 4 map. Even the tier 3 map was a little annoying because just the damage isn't quite there for some of the delirium stuff. I'm going to do delirium and just deal with it, skip by it if it starts taking too long to do mapping stuff. Overall, I really like Charged Dash on Trickster. The free movement ability has made mana really nice. The int stacking has been nice, like you end up with a good amount of energy shield for relatively little investment. After you get used to it, the skill feels pretty smooth. The channeling's a little awkward if you don't like channeling, but other than that, pretty nice. Like, since you channel, but then once you let go, you jump forward, it feels pretty quick still compared to other channeling skills. Similar idea to Cyclone, where it's channeling, but you're still getting some movement out of it. So in general, I like it. I've tried it with Raider too, and Raider's a little bit quicker, which is nice, but just feels a bit squishier. I did Charge Dash not int stacking for Raider, and that was yeah, a little squishier. You end up with like 4,000 to 5,000 life, whereas for the int stacking with Trickster, you usually end up between 8,000 and 13,000 energy shield. If you really dump some currency into it and do non-crit, you can do you can get to 13,000, even up to 15,000 now with some of the cluster jewels, like pretty comfortably. So that's been great. I've had no real complaints other than just not doing crit. The damage feels a little low, and then Blight is really one of the biggest things that I wanted to do more this league. I'd skipped Blight League. Last league I played Charged Dash Trickster and really liked it, but I wanted to do blighted maps, and Charged Dash Trickster just, it's so hard because while you're channeling you can't upgrade your turrets, your towers. So if you want to upgrade towers, you have to stop channeling. If you stop channeling, you lose your DPS, so it didn't feel very good unless I did much lower maps. So I gave up on it. Gave up on trying blighted maps. If you're good at this game, you probably realize I'm not that great at this game. Just decided to stream just because I feel like I talk to myself anyway while I'm playing. Oh boy. But yeah, as you can see, the damage is a little lackluster, especially right now on the 4 link. But that's largely why I'm switching over to Flicker Strike. I'm gonna try that out. Like, the Theory Craft looks pretty cool. And maybe I could even do it on this one, just leaning into the cluster jewels that increased aura effect. and then using Wrath and Herald of Lightning rather than what I'm using currently is Grace and Herald of Thunder. So yeah, potentially will be better, but I figured I'd try it out since I've done Charged Dash for 2 or 3 leagues now. But if people have questions about Charged Dash, I really enjoy it. I mean, the reason I've done it for several leagues now is because I've liked it so much. It's felt really good besides the blighted stuff. It was the first build that was able to just easily farm tier 16 content, which I was doing last league, and then this league I started a Wild Strike Raider, which again, the same thing with the Charged Dash one that I tried. Like, you end up with 4,000, 5,000 life, and it's not bad with acrobatics, but it you just get one shot sometimes, and I find that a little frustrating. Similar idea. I had gone crit last league. Tried to build going crit instead of non-crit, using elemental overload, and the crit build I mean felt good, cleared a little bit quicker, but you honestly don't get too much more damage, and you lose something like 4-ish thousand energy shield, which I don't know, is pretty noticeable. Going from 12k to 8k energy shield just was, I don't know, felt like you lost too much quality of life for the slightly faster clear speed. And as you guys see, I do a lot of backtracking. Like, I'm not the speediest player, so the extra clear speed wasn't really benefiting me since I spend too much time sitting looking at items anyway. And I think that's one of the reasons why I gravitated towards Charged Dash a little bit, because you get your screen gets to sit still for a minute, you get a chance to look at what's going on, and then once you decide to let go, then you can let go and you jump forward, and then get to look at the next screen, jump forward, and so on. So again, really like Charged Dash, but want to try Flicker Strike. I've always wanted to try Flicker Strike with Trickster just because the free movement skill makes it seem really fun, or just really nice quality of life. But yeah, as you can see, damage is lacking. I don't even know if I can do tier 4 maps unless I go grab a 6 link somewhere. Or just spend the time and level a little bit more. I'm gonna fail this Zana mission right now. Currently I'm not streaming, I'm just recording, so it's kind of weird not having a chat up to kind of interact, so I'm just gonna continue talking through whatever I feel like. So far, Delirium, I've really liked it this league. After the initial buff, like the red explodey guys feel a lot more fair. The rewards feel pretty good. I'm just gonna skip this Delirium because I'm hoping to still complete the Zana thing, but I doubt I'm gonna be able to get here and kill this boss in 30 seconds. Skip these, might help. Yeah, and we'll see if this guy dies in 30 seconds, but Hey, maybe. Yeah, and again with Charged Dash, because it's channeling and you lose so much damage if you just keep jumping, you can jump to like dodge AoE hits and big slams and such, but it just slows down the fight so much when your damage is already like fairly low. I looked at a couple builds during Synthesis League, and one of the synthesis crafts is basically the how affect the damage per int, and that looked like this could actually carry enough damage to like feel worth it or like feel a little better, but that's gone now. I forgot to with I've been playing Ignite Trickster this league, so mostly I've been keeping an eye on immunity to elemental elements or chance to avoid them. I forget that with this one, metamorphs with resist elements, extra life, and like life regen are really tough. Just because of the lack of damage again. The one good thing about it is since you're on CI, you ignore a lot of the random damage. The random chaos damage that flows through. So I mentioned the Ignite Fireball Trickster. That I'd started after hitting kind of a stopping point with the Wild Strike Raider. Got to like level 84 with Wild Strike, and it was fun, but felt like slightly worse arc, especially now with the Archmage support. Wild Strike seemed pretty lacking compared to just plain arc. But so I switched over to Ignite Trickster, since Trickster's pretty much the class, the ascendancy that I enjoy the most, and it felt great. It felt a lot like Essence Drain Trickster, which I've played a bunch, but you only need to shoot one cast, and with Snakebite Rings, everything forks, so you get the proliferate, you get the forking damage, and it just feels really good. Again, that one's also lacking a little bit of damage on some of this higher delirium stuff. So, like tier 16 maps are doable, but one, they're just a little bit slower because your damage isn't incredible, and then two, there's just so many mods that you can't run. Like there's high chance or immune to elemental ailments you can't run. You can't run elemental reflect. No regen maps are actually pretty okay because Trickster Ascendancy, you just gain all the percentage life and energy shield back as you kill stuff. But yeah, just reflect. Even just looking at reflect and elements like becomes tough. Since the damage is lacking, if you're looking at tier 15, 16 maps, if they have high resist, like the plus 40 resist, that's kind of tough to deal with as well. But yeah, so it overall really fun and felt like a strong build, and very tanky. I felt like the EHP was like 8 to 9,000, from like 5,000 life, 3,000 energy shield, and there were some things that could maybe push that up a little bit more if I invested more, but just decided to move on to this character, which then kind of flopped when I felt like Charged Dash was doing even less damage than the Ignite Fireball build. Yeah, and again, I pick up all div cards, even though it's probably not worth my time. It's just part of the fun of the game for me. Yeah, so I think we're just on rinse and repeat here. I'm tempted to look around for a 6-link. I'm tempted to throw this impulses on. It's probably worth doing. I might do it and see if it feels better. The problem is I don't know if there's another green socket that's good enough. Like just Cooling Strike maybe. This league I've been trading a lot more stuff. I usually don't sell much. I mean, I don't know. If you sell something for 2 chaos or 1 chaos, it's okay, but just the hassle of teleporting back, finding the item, and then trading it for 1 chaos feels just less worth the time. Something else I was doing, which I almost don't want to mention because I don't want to catch on, is buying up several of these high EV, high ES temple modded armors. So for a lot of the essence, and really earlier in the league it worked better, so I ended up with extras, but that's how I made, I don't know, probably close to 10 exalts of my currency. As you guys saw at the beginning, I have about 15 exalts. Probably 10 of that was spending like anywhere between 5 and 30 chaos on random of these hybrid chests with temple mod for life and percent max life, and then ideally finding one with an open suffix and you can craft more quality onto it. And so with the quality it ends up pretty nice evasion energy shield values. And then a lot of people want to pick them up because for the essence strain tricksters that go hybrid, and just a lot of tricksters in general nowadays are doing like just hybrid builds with life and energy shield, sometimes with mind over matter, but this gets like a good amount of life and gets you the good evasion energy shield ones. Some of these are a little lower, but again, since I think like this one I picked up for like 5 chaos, these other ones picked up for, yeah, like some small amount, like probably 30 chaos or less, and now trying to sell them, but they haven't gone. I think because tricksters are just less good now, most people are jumping onto the gladiator herald stacking farm endgame content idea, but I sold enough of them where it was easily worth like grabbing a bunch of them. I didn't even grab a map. So yeah, I don't know what else to say exactly. We're just gonna be on this rinse repeat grind of trying to get a few levels. I'm sure there's more efficient ways to do this, but again, I'm not great at this game, so I just outgo maps, leveling secondary characters, just do the same thing as the first, which probably isn't efficient, just outgo maps and just let it ride. Oh. Oh. Something I didn't think about is so because I'm hybrid, or because I'm CI on this one and not hybrid, putting on impulses drastically lowers my my energy shield. Where it was at like 5,500, I lost 2,000, so I don't know if that's quite doable then. Maybe I just need to not do delirium. I'll give it one more shot and then just call it good if that happens again. It's also partly me just not thinking about having that lower health, so I'll just have to pay a little more attention and try to dodge some more of the random things. And as you guys watch, if you watch, you'll probably notice that I just am not very good in general. I don't dodge a lot of the random things. Something for the temples, probably a bad idea, but since you kind of lose your delirium if you wait too long and like read the temple to figure out what you're doing with it. If I have temples on delirium, I just jump into them, and if there's an upgrade, upgrade it. But if it's a switch, I just grab whichever one. I don't really read through and pick the one that I care about. I just pick whichever one. Again, just because if your delirium 5-second timer starts counting down before you get in here, then it goes away by the time you get out. So, even though I'm not generally the most efficient, I guess this is just one thing I'm trying to be efficient with. And I missed the stone. And we just keep going. Oh, and then that's the other thing I'm pretty terrible at, is I have a freeze flask, but since I'm trigger happy on my flask, and I have it on a basalt flask for some reason rather than literally any other flask, it's just gone way too often. I'm going to put another freeze flask down, because that's... being frozen is the worst for Charged Dash. Stuns and freeze. I mean, they're really bad for a lot of melee builds, but since when you get frozen, you jump forward automatically. Getting frozen for Charged Dash feels a little worse, I'd say, because you don't like stop in place where you're supposed to be. So often, you'll run your clone ahead. You either won't see where it is, or it'll be in a pack of monsters to try to start killing that pack of monsters from further away. But then you get frozen, you teleport into the middle of the pack of monsters, and then just get hit until you're unfrozen. Which, again, because I'm not very good, I often don't hit my freeze flask in time, or I preemptively slap all my flasks and then I don't have a freeze flask to hit when that happens. So that's what's been going on here. Ideally I don't die anymore, but who knows. Yeah, I can almost guarantee it'll happen once in a while. I guess I mentioned I was at 3,500 energy shield. I'm a little higher than that since I didn't have discipline on for that 3,500, so really I only lost 900 energy shield from taking off that other chest, which is not the worst. I forget to, on the Fireball Ignite build, I have 3 of my flasks on damage. And on this build, I think I'm 100% on defense. Just because I was having some survivability problems at points. So I keep hitting my flask thinking I'm gonna bump up my damage like while I'm clearing, but really I'm just wasting all my defensive options. Also been using dash with second wind. I've liked it for the most part. Though I think fortify, or I should say not having fortify, is pretty like noticeable in a lot of cases, like when you jump forward into packs. But I think part of the argument for not doing it is a lot of times, like where typical builds would Whirling Blades in with and get fortified, this one's generally just using the Charged Dash guy to jump into mobs, so often you end up without fortify on anyway. So this way it only takes up 2 slots and you can go over terrain, which is always a hassle for Whirling Blades, like not being able to jump terrain. And again, like the 15th time I said it, I'm not that great, so having 2 movement skills is just, I don't want to say it's too much, but it's too much sometimes. You guys have probably seen I have trouble even touching my flash buttons. I think I spend too much time watching Reddit or other YouTubers, so I just, in my mind, everyone's so good at this game. So I feel like just the slowest boomer APM player of this game. Or I just play it casually. Spend probably too much time looking at yellow items, which I've tried to do a little bit less for this video, just to not be too cringy. Just staring at random yellow chests and such, which are for sure not good. But and I think that's where I've just latched on to Charged Dash a whole lot, because like I said, it felt really tanky and was one of the first builds I could clear tier 16 maps consistently without dying. Whereas most of the other builds I've tried, it was just a little bit harder. A lot of the, like Essence Drain being one of them. Where, like, the damage was there, like you could channel Blight, but it was a similar thing, like you end up channeling to get the damage that you need to clear well, and then you could just get one shot, and CI makes you immune to a lot of those things, and just the amount of energy shield like stops a lot of the one shots, or a lot of the either lag moments or just my own brain lagging moments where I'm just standing a big hit. I mean, right now my energy shield's pretty low, but again, leveling up the character. But yeah, having 10,000 energy shield versus like the 7,000 EHP is pretty noticeable for the difference. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna probably clear one more of these and then call it good for this video. But yeah, this league's been really fun. I think, I don't know, I think I've seen mostly positive feedback about the cluster jewels, but me more than most, I've really liked the idea of the cluster jewels and just getting to move those around. They're like fairly easy to search, they're not too hard to craft. All of that's felt really fun to me, which I'm sure there's people with like not the best experience with them, and I mean especially the Herald stacking builds, and then the certain jewels get nerfed, like you lose a lot of investment mid-league. But I mean, the build was probably too good. Oh boy. That's the other thing too, is swapping between CI and non-CI characters. It's so hard for me to put together that my energy shield is my life bar, because my other character has about 3,000 energy shield. So
it's not like that goes away instantly. I'm used to seeing it up most of the time. And then it's like, if that goes down, then that triggers in my mind the, like, oh, I need to be paying attention. Where this one, obviously, if it goes down to 0, you're dead. So my mind just is a little slow a lot of times too, just because I'm not thinking that. I forget that, oh boy, like that. Yeah, I'm thinking that I still have like a little buffer left. Like I still have some HP left. But it's not the case. And also, if anyone does watch this and you guys see me doing something obviously wrong, or similar, if there's just a way better way to level, and the thought is, wow, like you're just wasting so much of your time just running tier 4 maps with your level 70 dude, feel free to throw me that feedback, or even if it's just, hey, you're an idiot, look at this guy's guide. That's totally fine, because I probably should. I've just been too lazy to look up anything. Back when Atlas first came out, was when I started playing more, or like, I guess learned how to play. I did the thing I feel like almost everyone does, is try your first bow build of just doing whatever. You take all the damage nodes, and then after like level 40, you just get one shot by everything. But after that, I was watching more racing videos and trying to learn how to play a little better. But that was on like 2.4, I think was about when that was all going on. Oh jeez. And then you just watch me misclick all these class stands. But so since then, I haven't watched any competitive things. I watched ExileCon a little bit and saw the racing there, and that was like wild to me, because everything is so different with all the movement skills, and then the smoke mine, like chaining that with the flame dash stuff. There's just so much more mechanical stuff going on during racing versus just the pick up shrapnel shot and just start running through stuff, or I don't know. It just felt way easier back in the day, and maybe that's because I spent more time learning it, but the game's gotten a lot more skill intensive, which is good, I think, for the game, but also just hard for me, because my excuse is that I'm old now, but really I just don't spend the time to learn to play. Oh, Legion is another thing I didn't really like Charged Dash for. Again, like, your damage is a little slow, and you just have to stand on things for so long. Just hope it goes down. Whereas like any range build just has a way better time, or like cyclone builds that can move through, or just a high DPS melee build. Just have better time like clearing more of that stuff. Which again, the Ignite Trickster, Fireball Ignite Trickster felt really good for Legion stuff. Whereas I just got used to it with Charged Dash, and just knowing that I wasn't gonna be able to like get to enough guys with the amount of damage I have. I don't think I hit the salva. So I guess that's another downside of Charged Dash for me. Blighted maps and Legions both felt a little subpar. I've also never really understood how to farm temples effectively. I get the idea for the incursions to like look at what you're upgrading and try to pick the rooms that you want. Like this one, I had a level 2 room, so I just picked the upgrade to get to level 3. It feels probably like the best choice. But in terms of, I don't know if you can like force certain things. Like if I want to always have the double corrupt room, I don't know if there's a way to like force that, or like how people are getting double corrupts consistently, or if they're just playing more and running incursions more, so they're seeing them more. But if that answer is super obvious and I'm just missing it, also feel free to just tell me. Yeah, I think this is gonna be about it for this one. I know probably not the most exciting, and just my play in general is probably way slower than you're used to if you've been watching other streamers or people playing. I probably seem like just slow and mistake ridden in the I mean, I even died a couple times just standing in AoE stuff, so but yeah, if you want to give any feedback, even if it's just that, like, hey, don't stand in AoE, that's totally good. Again, this is my first one of these, so I'm trying to just feel out if I enjoy talking through everything every time, or if I don't want to do that. But in general, I feel like I pretty much talk through my gameplay anyway. I live with a buddy of mine, so he doesn't play Path of Exile, but he'll ask me about it, and I just talk through all the stuff anyway, which maybe that's annoying, maybe not, but yeah. So any feedback is welcome. I'm gonna say probably don't subscribe, because I don't know how often I'm gonna be throwing these videos out. I don't want to leave anyone hanging on the, I don't have any schedule right now, but yeah, feel free to leave any comments, any suggestions, any obvious improvements I can make, or anything I should know about this game that I just don't know because I don't spend the time to look it up. And if there's anything like way too jarring about, like, I just click around for no reason on a bunch of stuff, if that's annoying, let me know that too, because it's something I'm relatively aware of, but any feedback on that would be great. So yeah, if you've watched till the end, thanks a whole bunch, and if not, totally understand, and you're not hearing this anyway. Alright, thanks, I'm out.